Hey guys, what is up? Ioki here bringing you some more Leona coaching. Today we are coaching a player by the name of Web Spider. Again, this is actually one of a series of coaching sessions that we've done. And in his email to me, he said that he's already gone from Gold 4 to Plat 4 with our coaching. So we are seeing some phenomenal progress, and we want to keep hammering down and improving your fundamentals and really getting into the nitty gritty of how to continue climbing. Because Gold to Plat is great, but Plat to Diamond is even better. So in your notes, it looks like you had this is going to be a pretty stressful, hectic game, and I noticed that you mentioned several times that you were very under pressure this game, and it sounds like we're not going to be able to see the in-game chat, but it sounds like you were getting flamed a lot, and then everybody was flaming your ADC for things that I'm sure we're going to see happen. But my biggest hint that I want to give you right before we get into the game is that mute all is your best friend. The very first thing I do when I get on my main account, on my Grandmaster account, mute all. Open that tab, mute, 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 mute. If you really are feeling in a generous mood, you can keep people unmuted, and then the second they say something negative, you can mute them, but I cannot stress that enough, because even just knowing that they're flaming can subconsciously affect your mentality about the game. So just wanted to say that you should really, really, really genuinely mute all. Very, very few times. It's like 0.1% of all chat is actually like useful. The rest of it is just nonsense and tearing down your mental. So I like the proactivity. I like the fact that you've got another player here, so you're not warding over. Love it. Keeping vision, making sure we're not getting invaded. All right. So we got blue buff. Here we go. Almost leashed it a little too long there. It almost actually reset. So we're coming into a Jhin Zillion lane. All right, so I want to see some very aggressive play from you. I want to see you not take too much poke level 1. It's not too bad so far. So we're looking, this is just as we mentioned in this exact matchup before. Zillion Jhin, Leona, they're both very squishy immobiles. Very, very easily to just get on top of level 2 and kill. So we are counting our minions, using our relic shield. Here we go, and are we ready for level 2? Let's find out. We're in the bush. We're on top of him. Beautiful. Boom. Auto. Excellent. Excellent. Good job. Really good engage. I love how you dropped the ignite early as well, just in case the heal came out. Alright, so now for the next 5 minutes, we're playing with a massive advantage in the sense that we have flash advantage over Zillion. So we want to be pushing this in, get the wave to bounce off, because as we mentioned before, but I'll go over it one more time, in Leona games, you want to be thinking of the map in terms of thirds. So from right here to right here is their third, right here to about right there is the neutral third. You want to be fighting in the neutral third or your third. It's very, very difficult to get anything done in the early levels as Leona. Until you get that level 6, you get that dive ability. Now what you could be doing is get this wave pushed and then immediately go up and get vision on the scuttle. That's what I would be doing. So think of scuttles as like little mini objectives. Too many supports don't really think about scuttle. They kind of consider it's not their problem, it's the jungler's problem. But getting prio, getting vision of that, and then having 4 people that are able to collapse on a jungler that's just trying to get their crab can instantly demotivate the entire enemy team. Even if it's just you walking up and having presence and not allowing them to take it. You don't have to kill them. You don't even have to get the crab. Just keeping them from getting that. So just understand that that's an option when you get to lanes like this where it's kind of like frozen out here and we can't quite get it to touch the turret yet. You can't really push it. You can't kill them. That's the time you should be going up and getting vision of the crab. All right, so we've got it to touch the turret. Now would be another excellent time to go up and touch the crab, or get vision of crab. Said we drop ward there, that's fine too. Alright, so remember, we're looking for engages on this Zillion. And now it's starting to get out here in no man's land, right? It's starting to be in an area that you can actually gank. Or, engage, sorry. This, little too deep. Be very, very conscious, especially when you're playing on their third of the lane. Be very conscious about your ADC and their capabilities of following up. If your Zenith Blade brings you over here, that's a lot of ground to cover for Jinx, who is already engaged in auto-attacking minions. So best case scenario, she autos this minion and gets a zap off, and that's a little bit of damage. Worst case scenario is way, way worse, right? Worst case scenario is like you get chain CC'd under the turret and then you have to blow your flash. So it's not too bad, but just be thinking. That might have been an okay play if you've got a Lucian, someone that can close the distance, someone like a Tristana. But with Jinx, you got to be very, very mindful. I get this question all the time, like, oh, why do my low to mid elo ADCs never follow up? I think that a lot of Leonas aren't putting conscious thought into the difference between you and your ADC's mobility, right? You have Zenith Blade. She has her legs, right? It is not easy at all for her to close the distance. Alright, we have not yet seen where Pantheon is at. Could be top, but he could very well be bottom. Hey, nice solo kill top. Pantheon, not Pantheon, Shyvana. Pantheon's their mid laner, sorry. Alright, there we go. Yeah, unfortunately this lane has just kind of been out here in their third of the map for a lot of it. So it's kind of frustrating in lanes like this because you feel like you don't have the ability to really affect the lane, but you just got to be very patient in a time like this. This was an excellent lord because look who we saw. Look who we saw, so we're backing up. Your two options here are to call for your jungler and try to win the 3v3 or to just back up. Looks like Vi's busy, so we're just chilling. Alright, they know where Vi's at. That actually they still had vision of that. So just so you know, they know that Vi started that dragon. Oh, I missed the play while I was explaining vision. Vision lingering. Because wards actually still give vision for a little bit after you clear them. So when she kills this and then aggro's the dragon, they actually see that. Okay, so we're going for, I believe, probably an E-flash here. Onto Zillion. Okay, so this is actually a little bit too forced. So in a play like this, one, we know that Shyvana's somewhere on this side of the map. So worst case scenario, she's like right here and is going to be able to respond. Best case scenario, you get Jin's flash for your flash. And that's even like, again, Jinx can't quickly follow up on this. If she can't follow up on a Zenith Blade, she really can't follow up on a flash Zenith Blade. So that was a clean engage mechanically. And I think we've been over this, like, I think you're pretty good mechanically. You know the basics of this champion. So look at this. So we didn't even end up getting Jin's flash. In fact, they're probably going to get Jinx's flash here. Okay, that's misplaying on every ADC's part. What should have happened there is that they take that initial burst and then Jin walks away, right? Solo queue shenanigans happen and both ADCs misplayed and now nobody has any sums. Well, it looks like you're also going to die, actually. Okay, so very, very, very forced engage because you got to be thinking about the best and worst case scenario. What actually are you trying to get here? Just very, very low chances of this ever succeeding. Jinx is back here. She can't immediately follow. We're going to let the solo queue shenanigans play out again. Looks like it's a 2-for-1. Just very, 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 very forced. What I was going to say before all of that happened is that patience is definitely a virtue when it comes to playing Leona. You may not think that she's the patient type since she's always diving, but you really have to be. In lanes like this, you need to be patient. Even though it kind of feels like you're running against the clock because these two scale better than you, don't be forcing that stuff. Let the play come to you. Again, this would look like a totally different play if you had a Tristan or Lucian, right? But you've got a very, very immobile Jinx. So if she's not able to walk up and trap on your engage, you're engaging too far away from her. All right, so we've got our shoes. We rushed our shoes. That's good. All right, so let's talk about pathing here. Let's talk about pathing because Jinx has got the wave in a really good spot where she can absorb the entire thing. We see Pantheon in mid. It would be really, really easy since you've got the boot advantage on everybody. Since you rushed your boots, you could just straight path mid. All the while, Jinx is incredibly safe, right? This is pushing into her. She's getting all this. Heck, she's even getting solo experience. So this would be a very, very good time to just path straight through here. Hit him with the insta path. They never see it coming, and it tilts their mid laners so much. Now, prior to Kassadin being level 6, I'd probably say that path wasn't worth it, but you're Kassadin 6. I think if you pathed mid, you at least got Pantheon's Flash. Especially since Vi was there to kind of compound on the gank. But that's okay. We go bot, we sit. See, this is like why that mid path is so valuable, because you're not really like contributing anything by being here. Zilean's going back, so we don't even have anyone to kill. You want to minimize your downtime. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on minimizing your downtime. You always want to be doing something. Like, remember back to the level 2 when we pushed a turret? We could have been getting vision on the Scuttle Crab. Here, we could have been walking mid. And I bet that Pantheon would have gone in. I bet you would have gotten something if you went mid. Alright, so we actually just saw Zilean back. You want to kind of get a feel for how long it takes certain champions to get back to base. I think you definitely have a large window of opportunity to zone this Jhin. To walk forward, especially since he's flashless. You don't want to be letting him walk up in CS like this. You want to have presence in the lane. Put yourself between him and the CS. Make him walk up and challenge you for the CS. Don't let him just walk up and get that freebie like that. So I want to see a little bit more presence, a little bit more understanding of why you can pressure. So let me ask you that. Let me ask you this, why? Why can you pressure Jhin there? I already went over it, so hopefully you're paying attention. Because Zilean's not going to be in lane for a while. We see their jungler on the other side of the map. You know, Jhin was there alone. Okay, so there's about to be a pivotal point in bot lane. I'm sure you know what it is. Both you and Zilean are about to hit level 6, and things get really dicey when he hits 6. So how it should play out, if you're playing in a high elo game, and you do catch Zilean, you kill him with your stun and your ult, and then Jinx waits for the Zilean ult, and then traps under the ult. As he's rezzing, she gets an insta-trap, and you guys kill her. Since this is a lower elo game, what will probably happen is Jinx will not save her traps, and you'll probably have to blow everything just to get his ultimate. You won't end up killing him. But that's okay. Just understand that when Leona hits 6, you've basically got free engages, but it's very difficult to play around Zilean ult. It gets messy very fast. But Leona does well with messy. Alright, so you probably... that was definitely a cannon you could have pressured with your Relic Shield, so... want to go up and grab those bad boys. Even if you have to pop your W to reduce the amount of poke that you're taking, you won't be taking, like, anything too serious. Alright, we are 6. Zilean just used his E. Zilean using his E actually seems completely harmless, but it actually reduces the flow of a lot of his combos. Like, he cannot now, for instance, put his E onto Jinx, get a really easy slow, and then double bomb her. So even, like, if you see a Zilean use his E like that, you need this should be a time when you should be engaging. And Zilean, especially early, has really long cooldowns too. E is like a very pivotal part of the Zilean combo. And Shyvana's top, so this is 100% a time you should be engaging. There is absolutely no chance. Everyone is on the map. Zilean just uses E. Jhin has no mana. Like, now should be a time when you are looking for a fight. Like, you are never going to find a more ideal fight than this. Shyvana's top, Pantheon's mid, Aurelia's dead for 16 more seconds, Zilean just uses E. Like, the reasons are kind of adding up here. Like, you really only need like 1 or 2 of those reasons to look for a fight as Leona, but... So like I said before, I think you're mechanically very good with Leona. You obviously understand how to do the E-flash. I think you know your combos. You know, I haven't seen any raw ults yet. Hopefully I don't see too many. But it's the decision-making aspect that we're struggling a little bit with. We forced an engage earlier, and now we're not taking an engage that we should be making. Okay, So, at some point, we have to cut ties. Leona, as you know, is a champion that goes in and never comes out again. At some point, we have to be cutting ties with our Vi here. The Q is good. The Q is good. You pop your Aftershock. The E is what kills you here. You know, kills you, or maybe you flash over the wall and survive, but it's not going to look pretty. So, honestly, in a scenario like this, I would Q Pantheon, contribute what I can, and then, you know, play along the edge of the team fight here. Definitely don't hardcore commit with the E, because you ended up having to blow your flash. We lost the dragon. All right. The rotation was good. The level of commitment was a little high. Okay, so we have got a perfectly timed stopwatch. Swifties is an adequate pick here. It's not bad. Okay, this is probably a little too deep for you, just because we've got 3 people that could collapse on you if you happen to walk over a ward. It's risky warding. Oh, cutting through here is like really risky actually. Like, you're getting lots of really great vision, but the risk reward ratio is not like super in your favor here. I would have maybe gotten this one and then immediately double backed out. Just until you know where Pantheon, Zillion, and Jhin are, you have to assume the worst case scenario is that you stepped on a ward like right here and they're all coming for you. And then since you have no flash and you're a character that only goes in, you want to be thinking about, you want to, you know that stereotype about like military guys or SWAT guys that whenever they enter a room, they always subconsciously like see where the exits are? That's how you want to be with Leona. You don't have any form of mobility that gets you out. You only go in. So when you come in here, like you want to come here, like, okay, let's say they're all 3 here. That's fine. You still have an exit this way, right? If you come up here and then they appear back here, you're kind of boned. And if you come here and they come here, you have no exits at all, right? So I would have gone for this ward and then immediately hiked out of there. But what you're doing here is like way too deep. Since the dragon was taken, honestly, I probably would have thrown that this way so that you can see if they have any tri-vision. I think that's kind of like wasting of the vision plant. Okay, so this is really nitpicky, but I'm finding you behind your ADC a lot. And remember, you always want to be trying to match the aggression. You want to be able to draw I believe that's a parallel line between you and your ADC. You want to be even with them. I want to be able to draw a horizontal line between you and your ADC with the lane. Is that a perpendicular line? I've been out of math class for a long time, guys. Please don't make fun of me. I think it's a perpendicular line. So you want to just be able to draw a line between you and your ADC. And see, you're behind that line. She's up here, you're back there. Especially as the frontliner that has more HP, more armor, more MR, the ability to engage. You want to find yourself above her, if anything, but almost never behind her. Okay, so we know Shyvana's bot. We're not looking for any fight right now. Okay, good collapse on their jungle. Or on your jungle, rather. Oh, wait! Wait, I like it. Okay, I always say one of the biggest things that I coach on Leona is do not raw alt. But I actually like this cheeky alt. Kill her with it. Dragon Slayer, dude. Alright. Outside of this one very specific scenario, you should not be raw alting. And that was cool though. Alright, I'll wait until we've got an item completed to talk about your build. Okay, See, that was smarter. You knew that even though Zillion was there and you could get onto him, if you eat that way, you were almost certainly dead because you would have no exit, right? So just being close enough to Kassadin, just having the ability to go in, kind of makes them stutter back, and it's like you're escorting him out, right? You don't actually have to go in to have presence. See, that little double back that you did? That's presence. It's excellent. It's really good. It gives them another target. It makes them think twice about, hard engaging on the Kassadin, and you didn't have to use your Zenith Blade like you did over here. So that's good, that level of presence, because that's a hard concept to teach, honestly. The fact that you can stay close to a team fight and not actually go in on it and still contribute to that team fight, that's called presence. I want to see more of that in lane, because what you just did there was good, but I didn't see you doing it in lane. Leona by herself, just by existing, Leona has so much presence. Alright, so we've got no ADC here. Oh, we missed our Mumu bandage. Alright, we've taken a lot of damage. If he hits the next bandage, we might still be able to salvage this. This is starting to get a little testy. Yeah. Okay. So we got the ulti off right before we died. That's fine. I'm not gonna judge you for any of what just occurred, because that was, you're just following the flow of the team fight. That wasn't like your call or anything. I think we did everything that we could have there. Okay, so yeah, the build is pretty troll. As you know, you should be rushing Gargoyle Stoneplate into either Zeke's or Knight's Vow. If there's also an additional like Righteous Glory build that you can do, but I don't recommend it. But yeah, as you know, Righteous Glory, or not Righteous Glory, Gargoyle Stoneplate Rush every single game. It's a core item. It should probably get nerfed. Okay, so we've got a TP coming down. This should be a free kill. Make sure this kill goes on to a carry. Okay. Cool. So we kind of just left Jinx. Why did we just leave Jinx? The wave wasn't pushed all the way to the turret, and there's so many people that can kill Jinx. Oh! Case in point! Thank you for helping me make that point, Jinx. Okay, so yeah, this was not a... Kassadin doesn't need any help shoving this wave. This mid lane is a really short wave. Bot lane is a long wave, though. Right? Your duty here wasn't done yet. And look what happens when you leave Jinx. Almost immediately. And they had vision of you, too, because the ward just expired. So they know for a fact Jinx is alone. And almost immediately. Now you can sit here and say like, oh, why is Jinx pushing without vision? But you're supposed to be her vision. You're supposed to be her bodyguard until she's big and strong and can carry you in the late game. So yeah, definitely didn't do your duty there. That was a scenario where you should have walked the wave in with her. And it wouldn't have taken much longer. You still would have been able to roam immediately afterwards, but... yeah, just be a little bit more mindful of like where you're needed on the map, and more importantly, why you're needed on the map. Like be very mindful of like why were you walking mid? What did Kassadin need for you there? Is he in a 1v1? Is he caught? Is he trying to set up another objective? He wasn't doing anything that you needed you for. You've just kind of walked in circles, so. Okay, so this is not something we want to go in on. This is a very, very bad fight. We see that. We know that. We're bailing. Sorry, Mumu. Maybe in the next life, buddy. Wow, he lived for so long. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, as you saw what I saw, wow, he's living for a really long time. Your team kind of makes the decision, okay, we're going to try to salvage this. And that's fine, that's fine. But don't do what you do here. If anything, you can flash E onto them. Not even necessary. You're going to catch these guys. You've got Swifties. Within 1 or 2 seconds, you'll be in E range. But definitely never flash ultimate. I understand what you're trying to do. You're probably trying to save a Mumu. Well, let's talk about that. A Mumu has used everything anyways. He's already used his ultimate. He's made his biggest contribution to the team fight, right? So it's not a scenario where you even want to try. Now, maybe if that's a character like Silas, who if he gets off one more combo, he heals to full health or something crazy like that, then maybe you can try to do desperate measures to save him. But don't try to flash ult to save a Moo that has already, you know, outlived his welcome. And don't even try to tell me that was a prediction. That was very lucky that you even landed anything with the raw ult. Walking into them and Eing is 100% the better option. It did end up looking cool, but it was lucky. It was very, very, very lucky. Okay, so okay, Jinx is dead. We chill in mid. We chill in mid. It's kind of absorbing. Okay, we got control ward out. We've got happens. It happens to the best of us, bye. It happens, bud. Alright, so we are setting up for the upcoming dragon. Jinx is free farming top. At this point, I would start communicating with Jinx, even if it's just placing a blue ping on her and then blue ping on the dragon, kind of saying like, hey, get down here. This is obviously where the next team fight's going to be. And you don't want to take your team fight without your hyper carry ADC. Okay, okay, you've got the upper hand. Yep, see, she died up top. That's not necessarily your fault. You can do more to communicate with pings. I'm not seeing a lot of pings out of you. Okay, so another raw ult that didn't land the stun, so it was a wasted ult. You know better than that. I know you know better than that. Okay, so this is just kind of just like a solo queue fiesta. Kind of just like an uncoachable team fight. We lost the fight. We lost the dragon. Yeah, you know better than that to be doing that. Yeah. Break yourself of that habit. Try to play your next 3 games, Web Spider, without raw ulting once. Without raw ulting once. I know you've had a couple that have turned out to be okay, but it's like you're playing roulette, right? You're playing roulette, you bet 3 times on red, and it hits red every time. So you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to bet red for the rest of my life. It's going to burn you eventually. Break yourself of that habit. Once you get, and I do believe you're going to get to the low diamond area, that's when I think people can start trusting themselves with understanding when they should be raw ulting. When you're playing in plat and below, it's just better to just never raw ult. Raw ulting. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have explained this earlier in the session for those that don't know, that don't regularly watch my coaching sessions, which you should, by the way. Raw ulting is dropping Leona ult when they're not previously CC'd. It's always, always, always better in low elo to just start off with your E, Q, hold them in place, and then dump their ult. It's 3 full seconds of stun if you land everything. If you open with ult and don't land the stun, you probably won't land the E. And then it's not 3 seconds of CC. But my boy Web Spider knows better. He's just got a bad habit. But we're gonna break that bad habit because it's about getting the difference between getting to plat and diamond is breaking your bad habits. So it's good that you know that you have that one. Alright, E, nope. No! He's right there, my bro. Give him a little kiss. Hit him with the Q. Hit him with the E. If you really need to land the E and you're afraid of missing it, just flash Q him. But don't raw ult. This is worthless, my friend. This is worthless. And this is a close fight. This is a really close fight. So honestly, your ult could have made the difference. Alright. So we want to fight. We get the red. Get a couple of these bad boys. Yeah, it looks like you like built components for gargoyles, but then ended up going Zeke's instead. I would actually, while we're on the topic of itemization, with the champion like Jinx, who you kind of have to play like a little bit closer to the chest. No pun intended there. Knight's Vow is actually a little bit better of an option for her, just because I find myself peeling Jinxes more than I'm like actually like going out and having her follow up. Because like we saw in laning phase, it's hard for her to follow up. It's a little bit better if you can play closer to the chest and like a little bit more defensively and peely, which Knight's Vow is much better for. Now, if I have like a Tristana or a Lucian, someone I know that's going to be able to follow up no matter how far away I am, that's when I rush Zeke's. So Gargoyle Stone Play is core build, first item, always. Then Knight's Vow, usually if you have, you can just use that as a rule of thumb if you want. If you have an immobile ADC, typically you just go Knight's Vow. If you have a mobile ADC, or Xayah, who I think does really well with Zeke's, you can go Zeke's. Alright, next fight. You typically want to get to dragon fights 40 seconds. Use that as a measurement. The dragon spawns in 40 seconds. That's when you need to start getting over there and getting vision. That's about how long it takes for you to channel your back, buy your items, get to dragon, and have about 10 to 15 seconds to spare to set up control wards and stuff. Because now we're kind of like walking into it blind, right? We're taking all this poke. We just didn't really have control of the pit. We took a little bit of hits on the way here. Shouldn't matter too much, though. You can go in on that. That was... I saw you hesitating. Okay, so we know Aurelia's not at the fight, right? Worst case scenario, she TP's in, and it's a 5v5. But you want to make her do that. You want to make her either commit to splitting, and now they're fighting a disadvantageous fight with 4v5. This is 100% something you can go in on. Because you'll melt his health bar, too. And Amumu could have followed up and completely, like, wasted him. That was definitely something you wanted to go in on there. Okay, there's another raw alt. Bro, I'm telling you. You made it to plat 4 with the bad habit of raw alting. I'm telling you, once you break that habit, you're going to diamond. Like, if you follow these coaching sessions, we keep doing these, you keep continuing at the rate that you're going, you break that habit, you're making it to diamond. Honestly, and this is going to sound a little mean, I'm surprised you made it to platinum with how many alts you're wasting. Like, so think about it, like, how good you're going to be when you stop doing that. You've been holding yourself back by that bad habit. Like, everything else you're at least passable on. Like, mechanics, your macro, outside of a couple of bad cases, like, that's your biggest flaw that I'm seeing. So many fights you're wasting your ultimate. And it's your ultimate, man. It's your best move. You don't want to waste it. Alright. We got Baron. We insta back. It doesn't look... I don't know if that's a spectator bug or not, but it doesn't look like your Knight's Vow is binded. Also, remember that Zeke's Vow does not have a cooldown on the rebinding. So if the person that you're binded to is on the other side of the map, just rebind your Zeke's. Because unlike Knight's Vow, who I think has a 60-second cooldown, you can rebind Zeke's whenever you want, as many times as you want. You could sit there, put it on Jinx, then Amumu, back to Jinx, Amumu, Vi, anyone you want. So if you watch my Leona gameplay, I'm constantly switching between like Zeke's. Sometimes I'll do it halfway through a fight. If the person that's binded to dies. But it doesn't look like your Knight's Vow is binded at all. Which would be a big no-no. Okay, we're all trying to get on the same page. We're trying to push. We're trying to push. We finally found a good place to push. There we go. We got Zillion ult. Vi's distracting them. Here we go. You're down 2 people. Now this is one of the very few times that I would say that that's an acceptable raw ult, because you were trying to disengage. Using your raw ult to run away as opposed to trying to get in there, that's a much more understandable. At the time, it looked like you dropped your ult because you were trying to slow them so that you could all get away. Looks like Amumu kind of put a foil in that plan by going in. So I think, honestly, once Amumu goes in, you should probably just all go in. Worst case scenario, you get wiped and lose your Baron, but you're going to lose that pretty soon anyways. This Amumu, I'll admit, this Amumu is doing insane damage. I would never expect this Amumu to, one, live that long or do that much damage. But right around here, I'd just say, you know, heck with it and go in and commit. Get those big, nice, juicy AoE W bursts. Putting sunlight on everybody. Jinx is in a great position to wipe these guys. I would, you know, you're kind of hesitating, and I understand that because this Amumu is living a really, really long time. But halfway through the fight, honestly, I probably would have just gone in on it. If you lose your Baron, oh well. You still got an open inhibitor, and you guys might have wiped them if Jinx just got 1 reset. I think she just runs them down. So I think the risk-reward ratio is really, really in your favor there. Doesn't really matter. You got the inhibitor. There's no massive objective for them to get. They get nothing. So I guess the biggest takeaway there is understand what happens if you die. Right? If you died earlier, oh well. Nothing happened. They don't even get to push mid. Alright, so at this stage of the game, you're just running them over, right? So let's kind of review. Looks like you run them over and just end the game here. Let's review. I want to see more presence in laning phase. I want you to find yourself with less downtime as Leona. Downtime is the enemy. You never just want to be standing in lane doing nothing. If you're standing in lane, it's because you're providing presence or escorting your ADC's wave into the turret or things like that. So be looking for those opportunities to get vision on Scuttle Crab or to roam mid from base. Minimize downtime. Stop raw ulting, my bro. I'm telling you, your elo is going to skyrocket when you break yourself of that habit. And then there's obvious mistakes that you are already aware about. Things like your itemization. Play this entire game without Stoneplate, and I don't know. Maybe that was a spectator bug that said Nightspell wasn't binded. But if you have any questions, man, please let me know. Anyone that watched this session on YouTube, hope you enjoyed it. Web Spider, let's get you to Diamond, bro. Let's do this, man. Me and you. Congratulations on the progress that you've made, and I hope that we keep making it, dude. If you have any questions, DM me on Twitch, Twitter, whatever. Take it easy. Peace.